Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. Hope you guys are really doing very well this afternoon. Gonna be diving into a couple of Arsenal stories. Stan Kroenke is set to spend more money on this Arsenal project, more money on the Arsenal group as well. He's looking to buy clubs in Belgium, in Portugal, and also in Brazil. Just to add to the Arsenal football group. That actually benefits us, by the way. I've seen a few people react to this on Twitter and a couple of other platforms. It really benefits Arsenal if Kroenke buys a couple of other clubs from other countries. We'll talk about that, and also how willing is Kroenke to spend money in January, in the summer, and also to back Mikel Arteta as well. We'll talk about Bukayo Saka. Now, according to England legend Bevy James, I mean, all these legends are against Arsenal. He's come out and said Saka should join Manchester City. Saka should join a club, a bigger club, if he wants to win trophies, and also if he wants to become a legend like the likes of Michael Owen, and I think the likes of Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. If he wants to become that, then he should join Manchester City, definitely. We'll talk about Thomas Partey as well. He's back in full training today. That is another positive story for us to talk about. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 300 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. What are your thoughts on Stan Kroenke in the comment section? Talk to me about him. Now, in the past 3 years, I think anyone who has changed, anyone who has moved the goalposts on Stan Kroenke is 100% right. He's backed us in the last 3 years, hasn't he? Last summer, done well. Last summer, but one. He's done well, and then I think starting from that summer where we brought in Thomas Partey, there's been a kind of a shift in his spending, in his caring about the club. I don't think he's 100% really on board with Arsenal and all this idea. But I think the model he's running Arsenal with has actually changed. He's decided, I'm going to spend money on Arsenal as I make the profit. And for me, no one should be blamed for taking money out of a business, because at the end of the day, Arsenal is a business to Stan Kroenke, so he should get the profits if he wants, as long as he invests money, as long as he injects more money in this Arsenal project. So I'm gonna be talking much about Kroenke, what I thought about Stan in the comment section. Now, let's start off with the story that was published by The Guardian yesterday, that Stan Kroenke, alongside a couple of other owners, a couple of other club owners in the UK, especially in the Premier League, have decided they're going to be buying more clubs. They're going to be buying more. They're going to be adding more clubs to their group. So, for example, you have Manchester City. They have a couple of clubs in France. They have a couple of clubs in Belgium. They have a couple of clubs in the Major League Soccer as well. So you have the Manchester City group. If you've been following Fabrizio Romano most of the time, he'll always tell you Manchester City have signed a player, but then the player is not going to be playing for them. He's going to be playing for another club that is a part of this Manchester City group. So Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United are also considering buying clubs around the whole world. Stan Kroenke has picked up interest in Belgium, Portugal, and Brazil. So this is how it's this is how it's gonna work. Arsenal is going to be on top of the Arsenal group. So we're gonna have an Arsenal group of clubs, a Manchester City group of clubs, a Manchester United group of clubs, and a Chelsea group of clubs as well. But where it benefits Arsenal, I know this is where you guys are desperate, right? Where it benefits Arsenal, this is how. So if we get clubs in Belgium, we get clubs in Portugal, and clubs in Brazil, it literally means Arsenal will be able to attract the best talents, right, in our group, under our group, from those countries. So I'll give you the best example that I know that I've seen work very well: RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg. Remember when we wanted Dominic Szoboszlai? I think that was 2020 January. If I'm not wrong, January 2020, when we wanted Dominic Szoboszlai, but in the end, Red Bull Salzburg in Austria decided they'll be selling to Red Bull Leipzig. in Germany. So literally what that does, it allows you to be on top of your game in terms of scouting, and also you can get the best talent from each of those countries, develop them, and then they can sign for Arsenal on a bargain. So I'm gonna do a case study for this one. Let's say Brazil. If Arsenal can't buy a club in Brazil, let's say we buy Palmeiras in Brazil right now. If we buy Palmeiras in Brazil, Danilo comes to Arsenal. I mean, I hope I'm right. Danilo plays for Palmeiras. Danilo signs for Arsenal either on a bargain. I mean, it's not necessarily on a free, but on a bargain. So instead of paying the 60 million for Danilo, or the 70 million, or the 50 million, or activating his release clause, which would be around 85 million euros, Arsenal will need to part with around 35 million euros, or even 25 million euros to sign Danilo. I think it's a very good project, and it's one way that Stan Kroenke can make sure that Arsenal is well catered for. One, you cannot have Arsenal on top of the group. You have the Arsenal group, so Arsenal cannot be on top of the group, and then you don't spend money on us. It's impossible. So you must have a model club like Manchester City, and that means Arsenal become the model club. That means every big transfers come to Arsenal, and that means there's gonna be more money drawn right first and foremost from Arsenal to buy these other clubs and finance these other clubs. But in exchange, we are getting top quality talent from different countries. We are getting big we are getting big prospects from those countries. They're coming at Arsenal, and they're gonna be signing on a very, very cheap price. For me, look, I love this. I really, really love this. I know in the eyes of Stan Kroenke is thinking, if I buy 10 clubs around Europe, and I buy another 10 clubs in South America, and probably 5 in Asia and 5 in Africa, I am making more money by multi-enterprising. But as an Arsenal fan, this is something I'm totally on board with. I'm absolutely totally on board with it, with this one, because Arsenal will be on top. Arsenal will be the model club, and if you want your model club to stay strong, they need to be winning. They need to be setting the pace for all these clubs, and we'll be setting the pace for all these clubs, spending the money, enjoying the benefits of having this kind of group around you. We'll be able to loan out our players as well, and ensure they will get the game time. For example, right now, I think Nuno Tavares should be playing in a club that's owned by the group. I mean, it just reduces the risk of losing such talent. Nuno Tavares, William Saliba, the likes of, Matteo Guendouzi, the likes of, all those players. Instead of loaning them out to Marseille, loaning them out to, all these other clubs that are, in the end are going to be poaching on them, trying to sign them, trying to steal them. You loan them out in your own system. You loan them out in your own group. They do well, and then you actually bring them back. I think one of the examples is Matt Turner. Now, I'm not really sure if Matt Turner comes from a club that Stan Kroenke owns, but what I know is that there is some kind of ownership. Stan Kroenke has owned that club. So Matt Turner, how much did we buy Matt Turner for? I'm not really even sure. Of course, we needed a backup goalkeeper. I don't think Arsenal are going to be ready to spend hundreds of millions or tens of millions on a backup goalkeeper. You just go out to one of those clubs that you own, get a backup goalkeeper, and that is done. You also have the likes of Austin Trusty, who's doing very, very well at Birmingham, also coming in from a club that I think Stan Kroenke would be happy to own if he's not owning at the moment. So for me, look, if Kroenke is looking at expanding the Arsenal group, the Arsenal territory, I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely on board with this. It's definitely going to work out. And this is another sign that Stan Kroenke is willing to spend more money on transfers for Arsenal. Because you look at Manchester City, I don't know, there's so many clubs that they own in Belgium and everywhere, but the lead club is Manchester City. The lead group is Manchester City, and that's why they call it the Manchester City group, right? Now, we know Stan Kroenke has the money to buy all these clubs, but if you want to do that, if you want your model to be successful, if you want to be successful in that kind of model, you need a big club. So I think Kroenke here has realized, I buy Odegaard for 35 million, I buy Zinchenko for 35, and I buy Gabriel Jesus for 45 million, and now my club is on top of the table. If we finish there for the first time since 2004, 2005, or we finish in the top 4 for the first time in 6-7 years, Stan Kroenke is going to make a lot of money, more money than he has made ever since he took up the ownership of the club in 10-11. So I think he's realized, the more I spend on Arsenal, the more money I'll get. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer right from the first place. What I don't understand is whether they didn't have the right project in mind, whether they were not sure about what to do with this kind of Arsenal big project they had actually taken over, because they had, for me, one of the best managers in the world when it comes to developing football and developing talents. And that's why FIFA picked up Arsene Wenger to be head of development at FIFA. I mean, I don't look. We can talk about the likes of Sir Alexander Chairman Ferguson. We can talk about all these other guys. There's no better guy at developing football, grassroots football, than Arsene Wenger. And that is the only role I would give him at Arsenal. Come back at the club and just help us, develop this kind of grassroots system. Get the likes of Moses Caicedo before they become Brighton players. Get the likes of Paul Pogba before they become stars. Get the likes of Gabriel Jesus before they become stars. Because we know he's got that network, and it's actually working out very, very well for him as a manager and as a guy. That is what has branded Arsene Wenger's career. So look, and right now, I don't even care whether Kroenke is what Kroenke did years ago. What I care about is what he's going to do right now and in the future. So if he decides that he's going to buy clubs around Arsenal, he's going to build a conglomerate. Is it a conglomerate or a group? And it depends on what you're going to call it, around Arsenal. And then the benefits are Arsenal get to be spent on huge amounts of money. I'm okay with that. Right? I'm absolutely okay with that. So in January, we are expecting some injection as well from Stan Kroenke. Mikel Arteta has made his demands very clear. A midfielder is key. A midfielder is a priority. Douglas Luiz, Jesper Lindstrom, Lovre Meyer, all linked with Arsenal. We don't want to talk about the transfer rumors right now. We've digested much of them. As we go into the weekend, I want us to focus on the football. Tottenham Hotspur, the North London Derby, and all that. Like I said yesterday, in the comment section, your Arsenal Tottenham combined 11. I need your thoughts. We're going to be doing our combined 11. I'm going to be challenging you guys, right? If you have the better vote, then the player gets in. If I have the better, if I have the better reasons and opinion, then the player gets in for me. But of course, in the comment section, your combined 11. How many Spurs players get into this Arsenal side? So, look, Kroenke could be ready now for me to spend money on Arsenal every summer. We've seen it in the past 3 windows. 45 million for Thomas Partey in 2020 deadline day, over 100 million in 2021 in the summer, and over 150 million in the summer. Over 115 million in the summer of 2021 and 2022. So you can see that every summer he's improving. Every summer he's working to improve this squad. The schedule is a little bit unfavorable, so we will need reinforcements in January. We will need players in January, and that is where Stan Kroenke is got to back us. Get in the get that hand deep into your pocket and just pull out the dollars, just pull out the pounds, and back this side. Look, I think it's done so well, so far so good. Honestly, for me, Kroenke has done very, very well in the past 3 years. I know as Arsenal fans, we should be Kroenke out, right? But it's not just about being Kroenke out. It's about being able to sit down and realize, what has he done in the last 3 years? What did he fail to do in the previous 5 years before the last 3 years? For me, what he had failed to do, first and foremost, is getting that administration right, the scouting network, the guys that are working with the CEOs and everything. And I think we don't have the best administration, we don't have the best management, but right now we are in a better place. We can differentiate between a good buy, a good player, and a bad one. I mean, we no longer buy the likes of Socrates, the likes of Mustafi, the likes of Sid Kolasinac. All that scouting network, where it has gone, I don't care, but I'm happy it is gone out of the door. And you look at the situations and decisions we are making right now as a club, they're so much better. Think about Bukayo Saka's new contract. Think about Gabriel Martinelli and how much we bought for him. Think about getting Martin Odegaard over James Maddison. Odegaard is almost half the price of what James Maddison could have cost us. Think about signing Thomas Partey. Think about keeping Granit Xhaka, although the fans didn't agree. Think about buying Aaron Ramsdale for 30 million, although the fans didn't agree. You look at the decisions the club is taking. You think about everything we're doing as a club. It's absolutely positive. It's absolutely in the right way. So the management has changed and has massively improved for me for the better. And then, of course, the spending. Yeah, the spending. And the spending is, as an owner, if you're not spending on your club, you're useless. And for me, I remember saying this, Stan Kroenke was the most useless owner at a football club in the Premier League. Almost at a football club, in the whole world. The Glazers are worse, but you think about the Glazers, they're literally, they've been hardened by. I think they've given funds, they have entrusted funds to scumbags that cannot, allocate them well, bring in well-scouted players and talent. But the Kroenkes were literally not spending money. They were stingy. They were just stingy. They were against spending money on Arsenal Football Club. So Kroenke wants to spend more by buying clubs and also making sure that Arsenal is the model club. That means we could see a couple of big names in the future around this Arsenal side. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that, especially with the idea of buying clubs in Brazil. Look, this Arsenal side right now has over 6 players that are Brazilian. 3 Gabriels, Marquinhos as well. Those are already 4 players that are, that are Brazilian. And then you think about the other players that are, in the under 23s and all that. So we have 6 notable players that are Brazilian. And you think about the amount of talent coming from Brazil. You think about the exciting prospects coming from Brazil. If Arsenal can have a team right there, scout your talents, put them in that team, develop them, and then bring them up, I think we can dominate football. I think we can dominate football in the next 10 years. And for me, look, you don't need a city group to dominate football, but it is quite essential. It makes a lot of money for you. You develop players, you develop talents, you sell them, right? Just imagine having Arsenal, then having some high side, hustle like Ajax, and another side hustle like Dortmund. Because for me, those clubs are kind of side hustles. They allow you, as a group, to make huge amounts of money. The pressure on Arsenal, Arsenal to provide the dividends and the profits, the Kroenkes, just goes away. And that means other clubs will be able to give Kroenke some money. That means the money we make doesn't entirely go into the pockets of the owners, but also just, it comes back, it gets reinvested, recycled, and makes our club, a better club. So I think that's a positive from the Kroenkes. I hope they can live up to the expectations. Chelsea want to take up the same model, Manchester United as well, and a couple of other clubs. So let's wait and see what's going to come out of that. Now, David James, ex-England international, one of those, I think, players that, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really say they had a very, very good career, but I think their career, his career was fine, because I think at some point in time he was England's number 1, wasn't he? David James in goal. So he has said Bukayo Saka needs to join Manchester City and leave Arsenal if he wants to, win great and big things. If he wants to win silverware, if he wants to be a great player, he needs to sign for Manchester City. This is where I don't understand it, and this is where it makes no sense for me. When clubs like Arsenal are building their projects, these so-called legends, pundits, I know more, I played the game, will say players, in the current Arsenal project should sign for bigger teams. When the Arsenal project arrives, when the Arsenal project goes bang, they'll say player ABCD should play for Arsenal. It makes no sense for me. It absolutely makes no sense for me. So he says Saka should sign for Manchester City or another big club, or Real Madrid or Barcelona if he wants to win silverware. Literally saying Arsenal are not going to win any silverware in the next 10 years. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. One, Saka is 20. Okay, 21 if I missed here. 20, right? In the next 10 years, mark my words, in the next 10 years, Arsenal will have a Champions League. Arsenal will have a Premier League. 2 Premier League titles in the next 10 years due to the competition. A Champions League title, right? There is a lot of competition as well. So we'll have 1. We'll have 3 FA Cup titles. We'll have 2 Carabao Cups. And I think we'll have a Europa League title as well. We'll have we'll have a Club World Cup, right? We'll have a Super Cup as well. That cup, that trophy, Europa League and Europa League and Champions League winner. I think it's called the UEFA Super Cup. We'll have all those trophies in the next 10 years because just like Liverpool, just like Manchester City, just like Chelsea, we've done everything we need to do. We've gone the same direction. We've gone the right route. We've decided we are not going to rush the process. We're going to sign young players that are hungry, want to prove a point, develop them into full internationals, full professionals, and then go on to challenge for titles. Where does this guy get the energy and the brains to say that Saka should leave Arsenal because Arsenal are not going to win silverware? I mean, what are we working for then? What are we working for? You look at all the clubs around the Premier League right now that are in the Premier League. The top 6, Man United in the next 10 years, I think they'll have a Premier League title or 2. I think Spurs will not have any, unfortunately. I think Chelsea will have 1 or 2, right? I think City will have around 3 and Arsenal will have 2. I don't see why anyone downplays Arsenal right now. We might not win the Premier League this year. We might not even win the Europa League this year. But that doesn't write us off in the next 5 years. That doesn't write us off in the next 7-10 years. It doesn't. It truly doesn't. And I'm just fed up of all these ex-players and pundits just criticizing Arsenal at this moment. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. If someone said Saka should leave Arsenal in 2020 and in 2021, that would have made sense because in 2020 we went 10 games, 10 games, 1 win and 7 losses, right? I mean, that would make a lot of sense because we were in a very bad situation. But right now, when we are trying to do our best, bring the best quality football, the country, England has seen this season, trying to be competitive, trying to put a challenge against Manchester City as the likes of Liverpool are falling off, as the likes of Chelsea, are giving us mediocre standards. And then someone dares to say that Saka should join Manchester City for silverware. For me, that if Saka wants to join Manchester City, I would respect that, right? I would respect that. Players want a new challenge. Players want greener pastures. Players want to move on. But it would be a desperate move by Saka. And this is why it would be a desperate move for Saka. There is a high chance that if Manchester City lose Pep Guardiola and they get in any other manager, they will drop in standards, right? When they drop in standards, that means we can equally compete with them. Liverpool, Chelsea will be in the same pool. And that means we'll have the same opportunities, the same chances of winning the Premier League, just as they are. And also, I don't think that this Manchester City side is unchallengeable. They have played so many games together. Yes, they have a good manager. They do refresh their squad. But if you can collect 95 points, you're gonna give them a run for their money. All Arsenal have to do is to stay focused, broaden our squad, and make sure we have enough squad depth. So, David James, I respect his opinion. It is his opinion, and that is what football is all about: exchanging opinions and doing that. But for me, it's rubbish. is absolute rubbish. There is no better environment right now for Saka. Look, if he wants to win young, like win tomorrow, that is where I would agree. Go to City and win the league tomorrow, or go to Real Madrid and win the Champions League tomorrow. But if he's looking at the long-term, success of his career, winning trophies, but also being a hero, you're not going to be a bigger hero at Manchester City than at Arsenal. For me, I think right now, look, if I said Saka is Arsenal's worst player, how much stick would I get right now? Because he's our hero already. He's considered untouchable, like Romano says, untouchable. The deal is unthinkable, and everything about him is just special. He's just special for Arsenal. So look, Saka should sign a new deal. I don't know why it's taking long, but I think he should sign a new deal and we should get this over with. There is nothing I want more than waking up to the news that Saka signed a new deal. Now, of course, we are driving to the Tottenham Hotspur game. 48 hours to that. I've not yet picked my FPL team. I'm really scared for myself this weekend. I'm not really sure who I should be picking. I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna pick for my FPL team. So look, anyone good at fantasy, in the comment section, guys, let me know what are some of the good names I should be including in my FPL team. I'm thinking Saka. Yeah, I'm thinking Saka. I'm thinking Gabriel Jesus as well. I mean, I won't be surprised if Jesus scores. I won't be surprised if Saka puts in an assist, because apart from after Kevin De Bruyne with 6 assists, the next player with more assists this season is Bukayo Saka with 4. Okay, so Saka and Gabriel Jesus could make it to my FPL team this weekend. But of course, let me know, FPL experts, in the comment section. Talk to me there. Now, team news: Thomas Partey is back in full training. Yesterday we talked about the likelihood that he will make it to the Tottenham Hotspur game, and also in the squad. Now we can confirm he's returning to full training today. So I think Mikel will do his press conference either today or tomorrow. I want him to do it today, honestly. I want him to do it today. But if he doesn't, I don't really care. I have a combined 11 that I'm going to shoot. I also have a preview on 90 more. Make sure you check that out. I'll pin the link on my community. And then I'll have I think we'll have how to beat Tottenham series. So I have a lot to shoot about this game today. Probably if he does it today, then we'll do the reaction and the team news. But if he does it tomorrow, even the better. But Thomas Partey is back in full training. Alexander Zinchenko, not yet back in full training, but he's okay. He's all right. So there is nothing to be afraid of when it comes to Alexander Zinchenko. Then Martin Odegaard is also available. We'll be training with the side as well today. The only issues with, I think, it's going to be Mohamed Elneny. It's going to be Mohamed Elneny. He's the only guy that we are worrying ourselves with. Yeah, more Elneny. And look, no one can blame us for worrying because Mo Elneny is out. I think it's been outstanding when Thomas Partey has been injured, honestly. And you know what? I would rather see Mo Elneny play against Spurs than Thomas Partey, because I think Partey just attracts that kind of high line, and Mohamed Elneny just allows us to be a little bit more conservative. Honestly, no one wants their club to be very conservative, but that kind of, I want us to play safe against Spurs. I don't want us to expose ourselves. I don't want us to be to act very, very supernatural. I want us to be very, very cautious. And in my preview, I will tell you why Arsenal can beat Spurs by being cautious. I've seen when Spurs have the ball, when Spurs are left to play, they can't create chances. Their midfield literally lacks that creativity. So if you can go against Spurs, leave the ball for them for around 45% ball possession, and then you have around 56. Is it 56? Yeah, 56. I think you can beat them, right? Don't play a high line against Spurs. Okay, that is for the next upcoming video. Hit the like button for me, people. Let's get this video to 100 likes while we're live, and let's make sure we are getting it to 300 likes, of course. Now, O'Brien says Saka should not leave. I'm not not really sure why David James says Saka should leave Arsenal. I'm not really sure. I mean, these England legends have a problem with Arsenal. William Gallas just said, William Gallas is French, just say that, William Saliba needs a big centre-back, a huge centre-back, an experienced centre-back to be great. Literally, he's suggesting that either Arsenal sign a big centre-back or Saliba leaves Arsenal. What is happening with these guys? What's going on? Right? They're talking about some of the best talents in the world, and they're saying Arsenal should just give them up. Are they suggesting we give up our best talents just like that? Hell no, it's not happening. Not anytime soon. Hello, Cossy. How are you doing, Henry? Hope you're doing well. Amon says, hello, Cossy. This is Amon from Uganda. If Saka wants to go, let him go. Only the Arsenal must bring in a youngster to replace him. I don't think Saka is irreplaceable, and I don't think Saka is easy to replace, though. I think I make myself very clear. I don't think Saka is irreplaceable. Like, if I sell Saka and I get Mikhailo Modric, I don't know. But Saka is not a prototype you easily replace. Saka is very versatile. Plays on the left, plays on the right, comfortably. Can play at wing back comfortably as well. Very committed, always positive, and I think he's a very, very direct guy. That's one of the things I love about him and Martinelli. They always drive at opponents. They always think about going forward. They're always thinking, my next pass is up front, right? My next move is pushing to go forward. At that age, doing those things he does consistently at that age, even Phil Foden doesn't do them. We're talking about players, we're talking about Saka, and grouping him with the likes of Vinicius Jr. in terms of consistency, Pedri, Jude Bellingham, that is the bracket. He might not be up there with the likes of Pedri and Ward, but in terms of doing things, mature things consistently, 3 seasons now, no one of us has said, oh, Saka is trash. Saka is trash. No one has said that. And it's easy to see a player who is trash. Whenever your side keeps on getting better, you can see the trash players. Whenever your side is not performing well, you can see the trash players. It's not happening with Saka. He's miles clear. He's miles, clear. So for me, look, if he wants to go, you can replace him, but he's not a prototype. You just get on the market easily. Okay, hi, Cossy is waiting for my favorite Arsenal YouTube content creator. Thank you so much. Ken Erot, I'm really, really happy. Your job is amazing. Keep that spirit. You'll be blessed one day. Thank you so much. Chima says, hi, Cossy. How are you doing, Chima? Hope you're doing well. Okay. And then, Adesola says, good morning, Cossy. Thank you for the timely updates. Please, I would like to give updates on fitness available on the available players for the North London derby. Now, I'm shooting a video for 90 more. I've done a couple of research. I think Spurs are in a better position than Arsenal in terms of players coming back and also injury worries. I think the only worry is Christian Romero, who is fit for me. Mola is coming back. Lucas Moura is coming back as well. And I think Ben Davies is coming back. In terms of Arsenal, which is important for this channel, I think most of our players will be 70% fit. They will play, but they will not have that, extreme fitness levels. Those extreme fitness levels, they won't have them. Okay. Saka is not leaving. Edward says, Cossy, let's start thinking about Saka replacement now. You've got to think about it. He's not signing a new deal, and we are not almost midway, but we are almost midway the first leg, guys. We are almost midway the first leg, right? By November, Arsenal will have played more than up to 15 games, because we have 5. We have played 7 so far. We have 5 in October. That makes it 12. We'll have played 14 games in the Premier League by the time the World Cup starts. And if Saka's not signed a new deal, then when will he sign it? I'm not really sure, really. Kevin says, hi, Cossy. I like your work. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Kevin from Zambia. Sanyu says, hi, Cossy. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, Sanyu. Edward says, Cossy, we need Mikhailo Modric at Arsenal, my brother. And then Chidiabere says, if Saka wants to go, let him go. We can replace him immediately. Not immediately. I don't think Saka is a player you replace immediately. Honestly. Dennis says, good day, Cossy from Namibia. Update me on the fitness of players. Mostly, how about our number due to yellow cards? Yellow cards. Oh, if you're talking about Gabriel Jesus. So Gabriel Jesus has collected 4 yellow cards this campaign. If he picks up a yellow card against Spurs, he doesn't play against Liverpool. Yeah, that is his fit, but is facing suspension. And I think with Gabriel Jesus, it comes from his work rate. It comes from his work rate. He's not ill-disciplined. He's not, indisciplined. It comes from his work rate. He's always pressing defenders. He's always into battles with defenders. He's knocking them off. He's running off their shoulders and pulling their shots. So he's always going to have that kind of booking and things like that. But I think they are right for me. They are all right. It's part of his game, and they are all right for me. Dennis. And then, okay, let's see what you people are saying in the chat, more of you. Ronald says, hi, Cossy. Intege says, I love you, brother. I love you too, Robert. Godfrey says, that's why I like Arsene Wenger, who rejected to play English players. You know, I don't know why Arsene didn't play English players, by the way. Had a few. I think Jack Wilshere, top talent, wasn't he? I mean, Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, had a few in his squad, but he would, Arsene Wenger rather stayed away from English talent than embrace them. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Look, his scouting was absolutely strong. In my opinion, looking at the likes of Ashley Cole, right? Looking at the likes of Ashley Cole, you understand that his scouting network and his eye for good talent was very, very sharp. But why didn't he go for the likes of Rossi Barkley? Why did he try to sign the likes of Jack Rodwell? Why didn't he sign the likes of James Maddison? I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Fazula Annie says, David James' comment on Saka leaving Arsenal to City, that's too rude of him on Arsenal. Why should Arsenal sell Saka? I mean, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Sam says, just imagine if these England legends were referees. Now you only know why referees are against. Look, there is some kind of bias against Arsenal. I think you guys have realized that. There's some kind of bias on us. Hit the like button if you don't have the bias, by the way, on Arsenal. Let's get this video to 100 likes if you're live. But I don't understand where it's coming from. And it is absolutely senseless. Pundits all over the sudden attacking Arsenal. Arsenal over celebrating. That was Bain Sports. Jason Candy, Mikel Arteta is selfish for playing Arsenal players. Now, a manager playing his players, he's selfish all over the sudden. I don't understand the kind of bias that is driven towards us. I just don't understand. Are people too afraid to criticize themselves for underestimating us? Because personally, I really criticize my side. I criticize Arsenal when it's not going right. But I'm not afraid to give credit to say Mikel Arteta is one of the best managers in the league right now. Top 5 for me right now. Currently, best on form. Top 5. Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Antonio Conte, Jurgen Klopp, of course, and Graham Potter. What is done at Brighton this campaign? People are just afraid to criticize themselves, right? Saka cannot leave, says Angelo. Roland says hi, Cossy. And then Ken Errol says Kulusevski is injured. Well, I've looked at the latest team news in the last 10 hours. I've not seen an injury update on Dejan Kulusevski. I've not seen that. So anyway, guys, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well. My combined 11 is coming in. How to beat Spurs. That video is coming in. Why don't I call this a stream? And I'll see you very, very soon. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Cossy Arsenal on Twitter. Instagram, Cossy_19. My new channels are also available. The 90 More podcast is your footballing, is all of your footballing needs. Previews, match reactions, rankings. Everything I do on 90 More is super class. So make sure you check it out. Link is in my description. I'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.